Hello and welcome back to the lands of Aecathan. No professionals, no fancy tech, just a group of women playing an all-original game of Dungeons & Dragons. I'm Jeff, and I'm here to remind you that the ocean never says anything to pirates. It just waves.
That was coming. It just waves.
You're welcome. So
I love it.
Happy 2022.
Happy New
It's our
Year.
first episode of the new year. And so far, so good. You know?
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to hope that it continues that way. Let me bring you up to speed on what's happened since we were last live, since it's been a little while. The four had gone to the Faelefiri Sanctum to allow Tasha to perform the song for the teachers and clergy and students there. Afterwards, they experienced a minor seismic event that it turned out was a massive explosion in Costed's wave. Utilizing the magic of teleportation circle, Athgarr cast his first teleportation circle to bring the 4+1 to the capital city of Armagh. There, they went to catch up with their friend Jojo at the Shouting Pirate. They talked to Viessa Vexx, the leader of the underworld, who informed them that there were not one but two bounty hunter teams searching for Tasha in Armagh. She said not to worry, she would take care of them. Unfortunately, the events in Costed's wave cost her primary troubleshooting team, so the people that she sent out weren't quite as good at their job and got the four in a bit of a hot water when Warbender had to deal with a group of dead bodies that Viessa's people took out and then left. They made arrangements to meet with Warbender at lunch. Since they had a little time to kill, they disguised themselves and went out to resupply, going to both the magic shop and one of the blacksmithies in town. They returned to the Shouting Pirate and were forced to wait for a little while Warbender dealt with the dead bodies, and then he showed up and they both debriefed each other. It was determined that until the Dragon Festival, the four are basically on their own. They can do whatever they decide is most important. And as they were beginning to discuss that, Gwenlaryn vanished from the table. Just pop, gone. She was gone for a total of 60 seconds, popped back in, looking battle-weary, and telling a story of being somewhere else on Aecathan and meeting people she didn't know from places she didn't recognize and running into a hero of legend. And that, after she briefed everybody and had another little conversation with Synchron,
It was not what he seems.
that is where we will pick up. So, Gwenlaryn now looks a bit tired.
Yes.
Are
Longest
you
minute
hurt?
Ever. I was injured, but I've healed some. Yes. I was not as injured as Oloric was, but luckily he also recovered.
I still don't understand. That you fought with him?
Yes.
Hmm.
And he availed himself quite well. I was surprised. I've never seen him outside of the bar, and I had no expectation for his ability in a fight, but he held his own. I was really impressed.
Interesting. Well, that's good. I'm glad he can take care of himself. Awesome.
Yes.
That's good.
Make a medicine check. Is she fine?
I'm sorry?
Go ahead, make your roll.
19.
Gwenlaryn, how are you physically at this point?
I've been healed, so I have all of my hit points.
Okay.
But I'm tired. I've used some spells, and so I would probably appreciate a rest if there's an opportunity.
Aribell, you give her sort of a quick visual once over. You see the pink of freshly healed wounds, but there doesn't appear to be any more healing that needs to be done. She's just tired from battle. You can see she's physically drooping a little.
And a little dizzy from being teleported.
We
It's a little
determine
disconcerting.
Did we determine where we're going to stay?
Yeah. Do we have a place to rest?
No, you were going to ask Viessa?
Jojo? I don't remember.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna send a message to Viessa.
Okay.
It's Tasha. Do you know somewhere where we could actually rest?
Safe.
You can reply to this message. Are you pooping?
There's a brief pause. I'm assuming you mean other than Arabelle's house or one of the inns. I can't guarantee comfort, but yes. I'll send someone to take you there.
Viessa is going to send someone to take us to a place where we can all rest. Which I think we should do before we go find the sprite.
It's that or we teleport back to the sanctum and rest there.
Good point. Yeah, that is one of our luxuries of not having anything to do, is we can actually try to go get the sprite and bring them back safely.
Yes.
You
I think we should.
were also going to try to contact Mother Tassa at some point.
Oh, yes.
Not right now. Aren't you
All
out
right.
of spells?
Me?
No. She's used her talk to people spell many times today, so I wasn't sure. Do we even know what we're going to say to Mother Tassa yet? Let's get that
Figured out.
before we start sending stuff willy-nilly.
I think we should all rest. We should all take a long rest. And then we can figure out what we're going to say to Mother Tassa.
What time of day is it? Mid-
Mid-afternoon.
Right.
Hmm.
The time has passed for Gwenlaryn, but the rest of us can probably not rest yet. Right? It hasn't been 8 hours for how many per day, right? We can only do one per.
Right.
But it's been long enough for Gwenlaryn, probably.
I can keep going.
Nope.
I try to stand up and sort of stagger a little.
Yeah, we're going to rest. Sit your ass down.
I sit down.
Gosh, what are we going to say to Mother Tassa?
If you wish, I can cast the sending spell.
I'm sorry. I didn't necessarily think it was that she was too tired. I'm sorry.
I think we should all rest before we decide what we're going to say to Mother Tassa, so that we're all fresh and have all of our wits about us.
Then who... Well, are we resting where Viessa's going to take us, or are we...
Yes.
We are.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes. Where else would we rest?
Well, Aribell suggested we teleport back to the Sanctum and rest there.
Yeah. I want to rest before we teleport again, because Gwenlaryn has just teleported. And she's a little woozy.
I'll be okay.
Nope.
Just a brief rest and I'll be okay.
Mm-hmm. I think we should all rest. I could use it.
I could rest and the rest of you could do whatever needs to be done. I don't
Yeah.
wanna...
Do we have anything in the town that do we need to do like a brief shopping trip, get all some supplies, and not actually say where we're going, but
You just did.
I
Yeah,
couldn't remember.
Yeah, nothing is really pressing right now. We have the time to rest.
Are we going to disguise ourselves as we exit this building? As we did when we entered?
Well, I'm sure part of Viessa's person's task will be to take us a back way, but it's probably not a bad idea to
Disguise ourselves a little bit.
Yeah, are we still disguised? Like, would my
Oh
kit...
no,
No.
Oh,
dropped
because
our
we
disguises.
did it all magically, and that only
We didn't
lasts
do a
for an
kit.
hour.
yeah. I'm sorry, I forgot.
I can disguise myself and several others.
You still have that one up?
Not up,
No.
but I can cast
I
it
mean-
again.
Available, sorry. Maybe when they get here, we'll do that.
Sounds good.
Well, will you be wanting to take some food with you?
I think so. If we're going to be probably not stuck, but we'll be wherever we're going until tomorrow morning.
I'm famished.
Well, then let me see about putting together something that'll travel.
There's a
if-
particular sandwich I'd be interested in trying.
I imagine so. Well, that was going to be part of it anyway.
I appreciate that.
Several of your companions also seem to have taken a liking to it.
All
kinda-
of us.
He kind of winks at Zorith.
Yeah.
So he gets up and goes over to the stovetop and begins working on putting together some food for you.
So nice.
Would it be possible to send a message to Oloric and just make sure that he returned safely?
I have one ability to cast that, at least without burning more power than is necessary, but I would be happy to.
I would just like to know that he returned back to his place in Thunder's Edge and that he's unharmed and remembers what happened so that I don't think I'm insane.
All right. What would you like me to say?
Oloric, this is Gwenlaryn. Hope you got home safely. Did that really just happen? You can respond to this message.
Nice.
Okay. He modifies it slightly so he's not saying this is Gwenlaryn, but
I wanted him to say that.
Athgarr for Gwenlaryn here. Athgarr for Gwenlaryn.
Oloric, this is Athgarr sending a message for Gwenlaryn. She wants to know, did you arrive safely, and did that actually happen? You can reply to this message. There's a pause, and then you see Athgarr, he's clearly trying to say it as he hears it, so it's a little stilted, but he says, I'm fine, just tired. I think it happened. Wiggy said I vanished. Wiggy was distraught. I'm calming him down.
Aww.
Okay, so it wasn't just my imagination and random new scars.
No, the scars kind of tell me something happened.
That and your general demeanor, you went from relaxed and energetic to wan and fatigued in a matter of a minute. And that suggests something occurred.
Certainly did from my perspective.
All right. Well, at least you know he's well.
I'm glad. It's a relief.
I'm looking forward to hearing his version of the tale.
Do you expect it to differ significantly from mine?
No. It's just, when you're a bard, you try to collect as many versions of the story as you can, so you can utilize the best from each to retell it.
Understood.
You hear a...
Hello?
You look over, there's a boy. None too clean. Probably about 9. Standing next to the table. I'm to take you to a resting place.
Who sends you?
Viessa?
It's been an odd day. I had to ask.
Oh, yeah. When he speaks, Jojo looks over. Ah. Storm. Well met, lad. Are you hungry? I could eat. Right. I'll put something in this kit for you then, too. You're to have it when you deliver them to wherever she's having you take them. All right.
I cast disguise self on myself, or self on myself. Make myself. Sorry.
Who does not have the ability to cast on themselves? Okay.
To Athgarr, I don't think.
Oh, yeah. Athgarr just did. He's back in his,
so you can do it at a lower level. Excellent.
Well, I can... It's a first level spell, and I'd only used 1.
No, I'm saying Gwenlaryn.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yes,
Gwenlaryn can use a smaller spell and save her some stuff.
I will cast Disguise Self on myself and the 2 others.
Okay.
And I'll ask each how they would like to appear. I'm going to appear as a matronly woman.
Probably the same disguise as earlier.
Athgarr looks like a bald, rotund, bearded, robed monk.
Interesting. As a matronly woman, I'll collect my milkmaids and follow the little boy.
Yeah. Suck. I have. Okay.
Yes.
Nothing. Not yet.
Okay.
Alrighty then. I used the same disguise I had before.
Jojo looks over and says, "Right. Stum, take them where they're going, then come back. And, because the food's not ready yet. But, you can take it after you deliver them." Okay. Right, if you'll follow me.
We follow.
He leads you out the back of the inn and through the field in the port district.
Shit.
And
Keep going, sorry.
leads you sort of diagonal to the street, and then doesn't go quite to the street but stays behind the buildings, goes up a little bit, and leads you around the back of a large warehouse. And he walks up to the door and pulls a key out of a pocket and unlocks the door, puts the key back in, opens it, and says, "Come on," and walks in.
Follow.
Scan the room quickly and try to do it. See if there's anything.
It is filled with boxes as far as you can see as you're walking in. And he leads you sort of through a little bit of a maze of boxes until you get through what appears to be a ring of boxes to an open area that actually has rugs and cots and lanterns.
I pick I pick a cot.
Okay.
And
Yeah, there's
pass out.
like 8 cots, so there's more than enough room for everybody, and there's some chairs and some benches and a couple tables, and I mean, it's not terribly warm, but from the outside there is absolutely no way anyone can see this area.
I wash up a bit if there's water.
Oh, yeah.
And crash on a cot.
Okay. All right, I'll be back. I'm going to go and get your food.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
There'll be a reward for you when you return.
Oh, I know. Jojo said I could have some.
That's not what I meant, but we'll see you soon.
Okay. And he takes off, running with the energy that only children have.
I take out a gold piece and set it on the table and say, in case I'm asleep when he comes back, that's for him.
Okay.
Well, this is, I will admit, nicer than I was expecting.
Same.
Viessa does what she can for us most of the time.
We open the portable hole.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's definitely space for it.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually throw it up against one of the piles of crates.
Yeah.
We'll grab the mattresses and put them on the cots.
Right, I forgot about the mattresses.
Has Athgarr seen the portable
No.
hole?
He's
Oh.
not.
We trust him, right?
And he's just kind of like, that's... Where did you get that?
We're kind of a big deal.
From the dragons. It's for our horde.
You have a hoard.
It's a baby horde right now.
We're
In
dragonkin.
a portable hole.
Where else would you put your horde?
We're dragonkin. You're
Also-
expected to have a horde.
We're kind of transient, so we sort of need it to go with us wherever we go.
Yes, I understand.
They'd be disappointed if we left it behind.
Well, yes, I've never actually seen one of these. I've read about them.
Oh, the portable hole?
Yes.
They're pretty cool. Want to see?
We've got some
Absolutely.
really cool stuff in here.
Come on,
And
I'll
I-
give you the tour.
Don't have
It's a
my-
nickel.
I grab a mattress and put it on the cot and fall onto the cot face down.
Okay. So Athgarr follows Tasha.
And I say,
I mean, it's really not a big thing. It's like, it's not a big deal.
So this is as he steps into it, he's looking around kind of like, and he stops and closes his eyes and just stands there for a minute. The air is different.
mm-hmm.
No, not the air, but something.
It's an interdimensional space.
That must be it. But to my ears, it feels different. Fascinating.
Probably don't get the same sounds, right? Like Aecathan has natural sounds to the environment, and in there isn't any.
Yes, I think that's a good way to describe it. It's almost like the silence is pressure. It's an acoustically dead space. There's absolutely no sound reflectivity here at all except for the opening. Well, if one could breathe in here with the hole sealed, it would be an ideal practice place.
It's not,
But,
For a short time.
true.
We won't lock you in there,
No,
probably.
I appreciate that.
Today.
Stop it.
What?
Quit teasing the boy. It's not nice.
I wasn't teasing.
Mm-hmm.
There could be a reason that we put him in there.
Okay.
I can think of several.
For his own good, of course.
And I
course.
can't think of one. Really?
to hide you.
They're teasing you
Well,
mostly.
but that's what the disguise spells are for.
Mm.
Those aren't foolproof.
No. But I can also turn myself invisible.
That's not foolproof either.
Well, no, nothing is foolproof.
What if you were unconscious and really heavy and we just needed a place to stick you?
Well, as long as you didn't let me expire from lack of air, that would be fine.
See? There's a reason.
And he just kind of turns and a little too quickly steps back out of the hole.
See, he's learning.
Uh-huh.
You travel with 4 sisters. This is what you get.
10 minutes. But at that time, you would suffocate. So
Yes.
8, maybe.
But now you've seen our portable hole, and you've seen a little bit of our dragon horde.
Well, mostly it was just chests, but
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine.
Mm.
And so, if this is your horde, then you will be expected to increase it.
We're
Yes.
hoping.
Yes.
Then you definitely need to find a way to make some money from what it is you're doing.
Yes.
I mean, theoretically, yes, but saving the world doesn't exactly get you big pockets.
Well, it should.
It's
Shouldn't
more,
it?
it's more of a socially acceptable donation of your
Well-
time and effort for.
Well, it
The
got you, it
world's
got you a
safety.
house,
Oop.
Did. Pretty nice house, too.
but I understand that's not something you can put in the hole and carry with you.
Well, we've never tried.
No, we're not going to try that.
I know.
At some point, I'm looking forward to experiencing a spell that I've read about. I don't know if it's something that I will be able to learn, but I believe it might be something that Zorith would be able to learn. The spell to create a custom extra-dimensional space.
Have I heard of that?
Make an Arcana check.
Hmm. Waiting for the thing. Arcana. 17.
You vaguely remember just the very basics about a magnificent mansion spell.
Oh, the mansion spell. Okay.
Oh.
Is that similar to the hut?
Yes and no. It is a secure location, but it creates a rather elaborate space that can be customized by the caster, and it remains for a full day, a full 24 hours, and also includes food and drink.
Sounds very useful.
Agreed.
Roll to see if I've heard of it.
Sure. Make an Arcana check.
Hey, at what time do spells like if you've expended a spell slot, what time do they become fresh again? Is it at midnight every night?
No, it's after you've completed, well, for you, it's after you've completed your 4 hours of rest.
Okay.
So, Pam, what'd you get?
Just a 10.
It sounds lovely, but it's not something that you've come across yet.
That's Is that something you'll be able to do, Zorith? Pam knows, Aribell doesn't.
It's a 7th level spell.
I think so.
It gets wizard and bard, though.
Yeah, I don't think it's me.
It's a Tasha.
Yeah, bard and wizard. And I say, if I remember correctly, it's a spell that perhaps Tasha or potentially even you, Athgarr, can do when you are learned enough. Oh, wait. He's not going to be taking any spells in Bard again, is he?
Not for a little while.
So Tasha would be able to do it. Or if we find a wizard.
I will look into it.
Yeah, bards do get it at 7th level.
Mm-hmm.
What are you guys at? 5th level spells?
No. I don't think so. Hold on, let me look. Sorry, I just walked away from my... I have 6th level.
6th level.
So our next big fancy.
Right, 2 levels.
Right. Athgarr can use the sending spell how often? Once a day?
No, I have it. 3 3rd-level slots, and I can obviously use higher-level slots as well. So 8, 9. I could cast it 10 times total if that's all I cast.
Right, and you did it once already today. That's cool.
Yeah, I've used up all my 3rd-level slots at this point.
I have 6th level too, so.
Oh, but you can always use it at bigger slots, can't you?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I have technically 7 more castings of that should we need it.
But, you know, if we all take a long rest. Can we take a long rest? Or
Eventually.
is it... Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good night.
Well, Storm comes back with the food. And it's still even a little warm.
Gwenlaryn, are you still awake?
What?
That's fine. I hand the boy the gold piece.
Oh, no, it's paid for, ma'am.
No, that's for you. It's a tip. Thanks.
It's for you.
Oh, thanks.
You get to keep that.
I will. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Well, it was nice kind of meeting all of you. I have to go.
All right. Goodbye.
He dashes off.
He got his food?
Yeah. So, if there's anything you want to do, we can do it. Otherwise, we can just sort of say we fast forward to the next morning because no one's going to find you here.
Fast forward sounds good to me.
I actually, when we settle in and settle down, how is everybody spaced out? Like, how big is this space?
It's about 20 feet, vaguely circular.
If our sleep is interrupted, but only briefly, it'll still count for eight hours, right?
Depends on what happens during the interruption.
No more than 2 hours of light activity and a little bit of combat or something.
So that means no spell casting.
You could spellcast.
Okay.
I'm assuming it would be like divination or sending or something like that, or scrying. Anything like
Divination or
that
sending,
would be fine.
Okay.
Because that's not... I mean, it would count, obviously, against whatever your new spells were for the day, but...
Right. Okay.
Yeah, no, that would be fine. I mean, as long as it's not combat spells, there's really not an issue.
Okay. So I'm going to do my 4 hours and then I'm going to wake up.
Okay.
And where's Athgarr from me?
He is...
I mean, like, how close are we?
Well, the beds are sort of like spokes,
Okay.
And then the table and the chairs and the benches and everything are in the middle.
Okay. I'm gonna very quietly, I will take my time so that I do not make one sound, creep over to Athgarr.
Make a stealth check.
Natural 17. Plus stealth is 8, so 25.
All right.
Is anybody's natural perception higher than that?
Yes.
Yours is 25, then roll against
26.
me. 26. Fuck. So would she hear me, or does she still have to roll?
She would hear
'Cause
you.
She's asleep.
Well, yeah, you'd have to roll, I think. Oh. You beat him by 1. He got a 24.
5.
So you stir
That was
slightly.
plus 11.
You stir slightly.
Aribell stirs slightly. Athgarr is still asleep.
I freeze and I wait for her to fall back asleep.
Just open an eye. Do I see her?
Make another perception check.
Natural 20. 31.
Fuck you.
Yes, you see her.
I don't say anything. I just look at her. I mean, we're used to Zori not sleeping as long, so it's not a big deal.
Yep.
So I just like,
Her mouth. Are you okay? Okay. And I put my head back down.
and I wait for her to fall asleep. Do you go back to sleep?
I go back to sleep. I don't think you're up to anything.
Right. Because I would never be up to
What are
anything.
you up to?
You don't know, you're asleep. I go over to Athgarr and I put my hand over his mouth and like wake him up, like clap my hand over his mouth and like put my hand on his shoulder at the same time, and I say shh in his ear really quietly.
All right. Make a persuasion check.
17.
He goes,
And I like get my face in front of his and I'm like,
he looks really confused.
Understandable.
and I get right next to his ear and as quietly as I possibly can, I say, I need a favor. And it's gotta be secret, but I need a favor.
He kind of shifts a little bit just to look at you like, and he raises an eyebrow.
I need you to send Aralahkis a message for me.
He nods gently and then widens his eyes like,
And I hand him a piece of written paper. And it says, hello, Athgarr for Zorith. Secretly, she needs you to meet her at teleport and escort through town to the Wrath.
Oh, shit.
And that's it. And then I whisper in his ear, as quiet as I can, I swear to you, I will teleport here at the keep as soon as possible after my errand.
and he very equally quietly says, do you wish to do this now.
Yep. Do I have to roll persuasion again?
No. No.
Because I will.
All right. Let me get my... Let me get my things.
Does he have to cast it? I thought sending was quiet. Is sending not quiet?
Oh, sending is quiet.
Okay. What? He's not going with me. You're not going with me. It's just me.
I'm not sure that's wise.
Do you need your rest? I've done no spells. And you can't go back to Thunder's Edge right now.
I can't be seen going back to Thunder's Edge. That's different.
Okay, so then add, we need not costumes, what's the word?
Disguises.
Disguises.
As you know, I can disguise myself.
But you can't disguise me. Oh, if you can disguise yourself, that'll be fine. I guess. Yeah, that'll be fine. What time is it?
Probably
Because it's only been 4 hours.
Right. But you wouldn't have, like, started the rest until, like, 10. So it's probably, like, 2 in the morning. But it would be midnight in Thunder's Edge.
Currently midnight in Thunder's Edge?
Yes. Because there is a little bit of a time difference.
Okay. Okay.
And he sits up and softly hums.
But see, he was supposed to be here to tell everybody that I'd be back if they woke up. Fuck, okay. Fine.
Well, he sends the message, and then you see him kind of cock his head. Clearly he's getting a response. You see him go. He says he'll be waiting, and I'm not to go.
If anyone wakes up, you just tell him I'll be right back. I don't expect to last very long.
How will you get back from the keep without being seen?
I'll find a way.
Right.
I kiss him on the cheek. And then I, very quickly after that, I said, erase my teleport circle.
Oh, it dissolves when it
good.
casts, so there's nothing left.
All right. Well, then I'm going to go in the corner and do my circle
All right.
and go to Thunder's Edge.
Okay. Well, you arrive at the chamber that you're familiar with, and you see Aralahkis leaning against the door.
Hi,
Hello?
it's just me.
Yeah, I can see
I'll be
that.
quick. I'll be quick.
Something wrong? I mean, where's the rest of them? Where's the pup?
No, they're sleeping. It's fine.
No, I mean, where are they? You're here, where are they?
Oh, they're in Irma, sleeping safely.
He got back to Irma. Son of a bitch.
Why don't we walk and talk?
Well, I just lost 5 gold.
I'll let him know that your faith in him is unparalleled.
Well, let's just say that Sten's more optimistic than I am.
So let's walk and talk if we can.
Sure.
And I'm gonna put my hat up and try to, like, my hood up and try to look as non-conspicuous as possible.
Okay.
I have a disguise kit. If I need to use it, I'll slap something on a big zit or like something. I don't know. But while we walk to the Wrath, I will ask as much as I will pump him for as much information about Athgarr as I can.
Okay, what do you want to know?
Just to let you know, we did not know that he had not told anyone. He said he had left it up to you. We didn't know it was, but after the fact.
Well, I am the pup's master now, so that's appropriate.
How out of favor are you?
Completely until he needs something.
Okay. That makes me feel a little better.
Right now, he's got Sten in there with him, and I can already tell she's getting on his nerves.
Okay.
Because it's her first time in court, and she doesn't know what she's doing.
Right. He's a good kid. Sometimes I'm just afraid that he doesn't understand what this life is like, and I know Gwen doesn't want to be responsible, but she'll feel responsible if anything were to happen to him.
Well, you're right, he doesn't. He has no clue. His whole concept of being an adventurer and being a hero comes from all those damn books.
Yeah.
And not a one of them's probably accurate.
He'll learn with us. I mean, I don't necessarily want him to be adventuring, but honestly, we're the best if we're the best for him.
That's why I agreed to let him go.
As safe as we could.
That's why I agreed to this stupid plan of his.
Cockamamie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so far pretty big adventures and a little bit of peril. But he's proving to be actually an excellent sorcerer. He cast his first teleport spell the other night. Or the other day.
You mean he fell back on his bard's shit?
Teleport isn't a bard spell, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
He can cast first-level sorcerer spells, and that's it.
Oh, well then I guess if I would have known that, I wouldn't have said anything.
Okay.
As
Right.
Zorith wouldn't have said anything. He is, I would have said nothing about the teleport, but I would have said he's working on his sorcerer spells.
Good. I expect he'll fall back on the bard training when he has to.
Right. I'm really sorry to pull you out of bed at this hour.
Oh, I wasn't in bed.
You
You kidding me? I don't sleep till 2 or 3 in the morning.
Me either, if I had the chance. But as an adventurer, you sleep when you can, and then kind of sit around until everybody. As an elf, you sit around till everybody else is
Yeah.
awake.
So where are we headed?
To the Wrath.
Oh,
Ivory's
good.
Wrath.
I can get a drink.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's where we've been walking to.
Okay. Well, you get there, no problem. I mean, people see Aralahkis, they either, are, respectfully bowing and saluting, or they just get out of his way.
Nobody's even noticing me, probably.
No, not really.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Well, you get there. The place is lit. You can see through the windows that there are people in there.
A lot or a little?
A few.
A few.
It's
Okay.
it's Thursday.
So like nothing.
So it's Thursday night.
spectacular.
So yeah. There isn't really a bar night in Aecathan, so it's just a weeknight.
Right. Is Wiggy in there? Can I see
Yeah.
if Wiggy's in there?
Yep.
Wiggy's in there?
He's
Okay,
sitting at the
great.
bar talking to Oloric.
Okay. Oh, right. Because
Yep.
that happened a few hours ago, and he's probably still there. Okay.
Yep.
I enter the Wrath.
All right. Aralahkis walks in. Oloric kind of looks over and gets a kind of surprised look on his face, but says, "Lord Sorcerer, welcome. What brings you..." Oh. Yep. Just, escort through the night streets, Thunder's Edge. That's, I'm moonlighting.
I go up to the bar, and I
Oh my gosh. What are you doing
look
here?
at Wiggy, and I say, I need you to take over the bar for half an hour.
Wait, you want me to do what? You want him to
Just-
do what?
Just tell people that Oloric is busy for half an hour.
He looks at Oloric, and Oloric looks at him and looks at you like, are you sure that's a good idea?
It is Wiggy.
Wiggy, don't do something stupid, right? I literally have to talk to Oloric. I am not supposed to be here.
I'll keep an eye on him. Oh, that
Thank
makes me
you.
feel so much better.
And so I make like I'm getting ready to walk up the stairs
Okay.
and like look back at Oloric. Like,
And Oloric is like muttering something very intently to Wiggy, and then just kind of does one of those, and then deep breath, closes his eyes, turns, and starts to follow you.
right, deep breath, closes his eyes. Okay. There's a landing, right? Like
Yeah.
top of the stairs before you get down like a hallway.
There's actually two. There's
Okay.
it steps up to a landing, and then steps up to a landing that leads into the hallway.
We'll go the second landing.
Okay.
And it's gonna be like not necessarily hushed whispers, but I'm gonna ask him if there are people in these rooms here.
Good question. There are people, all the rooms are taken. There are some who are here and some who have yet to return. But
Okay.
we won't disturb them if we're quiet.
Okay. Hi. Good to see you. And I hug him.
It's good to see you too.
Gwen told me you guys had a crazy experience.
I was just going to say, I assume that Gwen told you all what happened.
She did tell you that.
Very
go ahead.
strange.
She did tell me that you were a fancy fighter, or you could do your things.
Before I became semi-legitimate in running this bar, I was, let's just say, light on my hooves.
Like Araman.
Yes. Yes.
Excellent.
Although I had not had call to use those skills for some time. It was nice to know that they're still there.
I think Araman would approve. I'm really, really not supposed to be here.
Yes. Where are the rest?
They're in Erma, sleeping. I'm really not supposed to be here.
You came by yourself.
Yes.
Do you think that's wise?
I don't. But I need to talk to you.
All right.
I have no experience with these feelings. I have no experience with any feelings. I don't even know what these feelings are. I like you. You're incredible. I know you like my looks and possibly have gotten to know. Don't give me that face, Annette. You're not there. I know you fancy me, and I don't know really what that means. But our lifestyle is dangerous, and I have no idea what will happen. And I don't know what to do from here about us, but I don't want to lead you on. I think you're amazing, and I don't know if anything will ever happen. I just don't know, and I don't know. I know we're going to the Sanctum. I know we're taking the Sprite back to Erma, and that's a dangerous situation. I know people are after Tasha, and that's a dangerous situation. I know there's dragons in Erma, and that's a dangerous situation. I don't know anything from one day to the next, and I don't want you to worry more than normal for a friend. I don't know. I don't know what these feelings are, and I don't want you to think that I don't like you, because I do like you. But I just don't know what to do with that. And I stop, and I just am silent for like however long.
Make an insight check.
Did you roll a 20?
Or a 1.
8. That's why I'm here. Are you kidding me? That's why I'm here.
Wow.
At least I didn't roll a 1. I rolled a fucking 7, so.
You are looking at him, and there's a slight smile on his face, but you're not really sure what that means. But he just looks at you for a moment and then says, "Do you know that's maybe the most words you've ever said to me?"
Adorbs.
No. Yes. I don't know. The last time I said a lot to you, it was misunderstood that I about the shoe and the hooves, and I'm so sorry. And I don't know anything. There's so many things that are going on and going wrong and going right. Araman is busy doing things for a god. Long story, I'll get back to that someday.
I'll
we
believe
know
anything.
said God. I mean, things are crazy. We know dragons. There's just so many things right now, and I do like you. I really do. But I really don't know any things. I had crushes or people in school that I liked to like. I mean, beautiful girls, beautiful boys. I don't know. Nothing ever happened. Nothing ever happened. Like happened. Like Gwenlaryn assumes that we're just gonna jump into bed, and I'm still trying to figure out everything.
Maybe we should start with dinner sometime? Just you and I? Somewhere other than here.
I don't know when that's going to happen.
No, do I. We don't have to set a time now. Next time you find yourself in Thunder's Edge, if the opportunity presents itself, I will make arrangements.
I know Gwen said that you weren't sure if I liked you, and I do like you. I just don't know what to do with it.
Well, here's the good news. Neither do I. I'm not exactly familiar with being liked like this. There's not a lot of people lining up to find out what's beneath the horns.
Can I... Well, I'm sure I can share anything with you.
Of course.
And I grab his hand and I put it on my forehead. And I just kind of like move it back and forth.
That's new.
Yeah. So I might be turning into a dragon. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, that will certainly make dinner a little more challenging. But I'm sure I can work it out.
I just laugh. Quietly. Like I laugh like a little bit loud and kind of quietly again.
You have to understand, I wish to correct one thing that you said. Yes, you are beautiful. But that is not what first caught my interest. That is a pastry that one eats as an aperitif. It's the meal that I'm interested in.
I lean in and I say, I'm a whole damn snack?
I imagine something more along the lines of a 4-course banquet, but that's what dinner is for. So we can begin to get to know each other, and I can find out.
Excellent. Are you guys being euphemistic? Fuck you all! God damn it!
I wasn't. I totally missed that part.
Oh, God
No.
damn it.
Look,
I just thought it was sweet.
so
Yes,
good.
Pam came back on camera with the, "Oh, that's so sweet" look.
Everybody else
Insight
is
check.
dirty.
I need an insight check because I don't know what he's doing. 18. Natural. 19. Is he being dirty?
No.
Okay, thank
He's
God.
simply trying to use a metaphor he thinks you'll connect with.
I do, because it's all about food. So.
Right.
Oh
Okay.
God.
Fuck you guys and your dirty thoughts.
No!
Not like I'm not there. Not like I'm not there 100% of the time, but not with Zorith. Like Nikki, she'd be gone. Zorith has no clue. Okay. I need to. I need to get going because I don't want them to know that I'm not back. I don't know. I will try to keep in touch with you through the sending stones. Thank you for telling us about what was going on. That's part of our. Well, that's part of my charade for this evening. Because Athgarr couldn't come with me and he's super upset. But,
It would not be wise for him to return here right now.
I know. So, we're trying to figure out how to live life day to day with a prince who just wants to be normal. And it's hard.
But I understand that desire.
I know. I have to go. I'm so sorry.
Why?
Why do I have to go?
Why be sorry? This clears up many things for me, and I will rest easier not having these questions running around in my brain.
Okay. Wait, do you have any other questions?
No, just a hope
Okay.
that
Thank you.
take care of yourself, stay safe, and come back so we can try that dinner.
I will definitely try. And I go to hug him.
And he hugs you back and actually kisses you on the cheek.
Thanks. I blush. And I go downstairs. What is Aralahkis? He is a sorcerer? He is a wizard.
A sorcerer.
He's a sorcerer.
He is a very high-level sorcerer.
Can he... I can't remember if he can disguise me. Oh, frick.
Nope.
Okay. Okay. All right.
You get back down there, and you walk up to what could be a comedy routine if you didn't know it was legitimate. Wiggy going, "Is this it? No. Is this it? No."
I apologize profusely to Oloric. I turn around and I'm like, I am so sorry, but it was so important that I talk to you.
I understand. Aralahkis, what is it that you're looking for? Wiggy, you can go back to your stool. That's not my fault. He doesn't have this place organized in any kind of fashion that anybody else but him can figure out. Gee, I wonder why. Yeah, I was just looking for any of that cherry brandy that you still had. Oh, goodness, yes. Yes. And he squats down and reaches way back and pulls out a dust-covered bottle. Ah, big seller, huh? It's kept safe for my discerning customers.
Can I have a shot? And then I have to go.
Of course. Gee, do I get to try it too? No, you do not. Ah.
Not discerning.
So he...
Not a customer.
Right. He pours out 2 shots, hands one to Aralahkis and one to Zorith. Looks at Wiggy, sighs, pours half a shot, and hands it to Wiggy, and then puts the bottle away.
I cheers to everybody. Thank you for your late night errand. Wiggy, thanks for being you.
Like I have a choice.
Aralahkis, thanks for the late night errand. Oloric, thanks for being you. And then I take it and then I go into the corner, kind of look around to see if anybody's like watching. Are there still people there?
Mm-hmm.
Man,
as you're looking around, Oloric kind of walks over and says, "Perhaps in the hallway upstairs."
Right. I give him a hug again and then I run upstairs.
Okay.
I teleport sans warning back into Lord Bonethane's manor.
You appear in the teleportation room of the keep, and you see 2 very drowsy guards immediately snap to attention and level pikes at you.
Sorry. It's me, Zorith, part of the 4. I had a late night emergency meeting in Thunder's Edge, and I don't have any way to send a spending spell. And then nobody is supposed to know that I was there. And then it's been a rough night.
They look at you and they kind of side-eye each other, and one of them goes,
I'll give you 2 gold each.
"I think I better go get the captain."
5 gold each?
That's probably a good idea. You go do that. You stay right there.
20
Don't
gold
go
each?
anywhere. And you see the one peel out.
Fuck me. So I just stand there for a really long time with my hands up. And then after a while, I decide to put them down.
It takes about 10 minutes, but the guard comes back with Captain Warbender in tow,
Hi.
who walks in and goes, "Yeah, that's her. Can I go back to bed now?"
Told you. I'm sorry, sir.
You're supposed to warn us.
I didn't have anybody to send a sending spell.
Where's the rest of them?
Asleep in a safe house?
So you're just running around on your own.
Yes? No. Yes? Yes.
All right, that explains it. Well, yep, she's one of the 4. Go back to your posts. Going back to bed. And he just turns around and clomps off.
And before he leaves, I give him a hug from behind, when that person's like, no, here, let me,
And
thank you.
He's just like, "Rah."
Not really a hugger.
No.
So then I go into one of the rooms
Okay.
and I disguise self.
All right. Then I need you. This is with the disguise kit, right?
Yes.
Then I need you to make a performance check.
Okay. Well, that should do it. A dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay. How do you disguise yourself?
I disguise myself as a peasant woman.
Okay.
But I'm going to darken my hair with some charcoal.
All right.
A lot of, I'm going to make it as gray black as I can. And then I am going to walk through town back to Wiggy's and see if I can remember how the kid...
You mean back to JoJo's?
Back to JoJo's, and then see if I can remember how the kid
got you
back
from the shouting pirate to the warehouse. Okay.
And I'm not gonna lie, I was trying to pay attention because I had this in mind.
All right.
I needed to do this. This is something that I've been thinking about way before I found Oloric was actually capable of doing things, which actually made this a little bit easier because now I don't have to worry about him as much, but I've been thinking about it for like a week in game.
All right. Make a history check.
Come on, baby. 17. 15 plus 2.
You get back to the shouting pirate, no problem. You go around the back, and while there has been a little snow since you went into the warehouse, you actually find your tracks and follow them back to the warehouse.
Okay. Then I try to get in the warehouse.
Okay. The door's unlocked because you're in there.
Okay. And then I just go to wherever.
Yep. You need to make a stealth check.
Okay.
And
I rolled a natural 18. I did. What is stealth? Hold on. Plus 8, 26. I did not do that on purpose. It is a natural 18. I would pick up my camera and show you.
all right. Anyone who has a passive perception of 26 or higher may roll perception.
Where do you find passive perception?
It's on the sheet on D&D Beyond right under the saving throws, like down the first column on the left.
Okay.
Sorry, Nikki. 30.
That's fine.
You, once again, kind of like crack an eye. This time you notice she's got snow on her.
Gwenlaryn, would you roll?
What? So it's the passive perception number needs to be above what?
26. 26 or higher.
And that's with a roll or just on its own?
Just the passive wisdom perception score.
Nope. Then I.
Okay.
Then I.
It's just.
That means you just sleep.
Yeah.
Okay. I was really tired.
So.
You were really tired.
Sorry, were you outside? I whispered.
I stretched and I start kind of shuffling off the snow. I said, yeah, I really got antsy. And I went outside, and while I was outside, I looked at the stars, and now I'm back.
Insight checker.
Okay. Zorith, roll deception.
$21.
My deception is a +8, and I rolled a 16, so 24.
She seems
You tricksy
she
minx.
seems legitimate. And she seems in earnest.
You need to be safe.
I know. I'm sorry. I was really wanting to get some fresh air and perspective.
Did you?
Yeah, it's really freaking cold though, so I came back up.
But you got the perspective you were looking for?
I think so. Yeah. And I like take off all my things and I like do like cold hands, but I like hug her.
I give her a hug.
And then I just
It happened to you.
I know. I just go sit in the corner like I would reading my book and writing and stuff.
Sitting on the cot.
Yeah.
All right.
Lay back down.
Well, the rest of the evening passes uneventfully, and you wake the following morning having completed a long rest.
Do we have like did he give us sandwiches for like tonight and tomorrow? Like last night and today?
No, he just gave you stuff for last night.
Well,
We probably have stuff.
Sure.
or we'll get to the sanctum
Bakery.
right next. Bakery, yeah.
Athgarr sort of, you see him stir, and then he does something a little strange. You see his eyes snap open, and he sits bolt upright, looking around the room, and then just kind of...
Do I notice this?
Make a perception check.
That would be a 19.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry, wait, perception. 24.
yeah, you notice.
What's going on, Athgarr? Nightmare?
He was restless last night.
Let's just say I woke up expecting something completely different than this, and I'm really glad that this is what I'm waking up to.
Have a bad dream?
You've been plagued by nightmares lately.
I don't really remember much. I just remember a sense of, oh shit,
Mm.
but everything's fine.
Indeed.
Well, what time is it?
Well, you don't have to ask that. You have keen mind. You know exactly what time it is.
All right, well, what time do I know it is?
It's shortly past 7 in the morning.
Oh, we've slept in. We should probably get going.
Indeed. I jump up and throw my mattress back in the hole.
Oh yeah, the portable hole. I get the portable hole out and I take care of that. Unfortunately, I do actually think I have information of what's in there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, normally I have like everything, but I didn't bring it tonight.
So,
I think I still have the list.
I know we have robes and star sapphires, and I know if I open Big Zorith, she'll be in there. All of our loot is on my level 20 Zorith that I have prepped.
oh.
Well,
So-
only in case I wanted to try out like a different line in my. It's what Pam does. She does her ideal person, and then when she levels up, she goes to check to see if
Oh.
she's following the right.
Path?
Yeah.
Cool. So, I guess we should just pop into the sanctum, and then we can go get something to eat at the sanctum for breakfast,
Yeah, probably.
and then we can go see the sprite.
Who do we need to let know we're coming?
Yeah, letting people know is probably a good idea.
Yeah, who should I message?
I did not bring those notes with me. I'm sorry.
They would have told us, right? How to use the teleportation circle.
Yes, they
Well,
would have because
Somebody make a history check.
Does Tasha know?
I would know that.
Tasha wasn't there.
Zorith would know.
So
Because
make a history check.
Tasha doesn't know.
I rolled a 19 for history.
Okay.
Athgarr would know, because he was there too.
Not with that roll.
21.
We weren't there?
17. So yeah, I guess that would be enough. Oh, we need to let Father Dilbiss know.
Oh, that makes
That's right.
sense.
It was just Athgarr and I went with Father Dilbiss while you guys were getting ready or doing something. I don't remember what happened that day, but it was just the two of us learning the...
Yes.
Yeah. So...
Do we need to send a message to Mother Tassa?
Well, yes. But I think we should probably go check out the sprite first.
Okay.
Still don't know what we want to say to Mother Tassa, right?
Yeah, that me too.
I've been thinking about it, but I have some ideas, but...
Oh, good. Do you want to talk about that now?
Sure.
What are your ideas?
We need to find out. We need to talk to her about. We need to meet with her because sending isn't going to work, and I mean, sending would work obviously to tell her stuff, but we're going to need to meet with her at her earliest convenience because the people have questions and we don't know how to answer them.
All right.
I mean, like, you don't have to tell her that now, but I mean, like, we can kick around some other ideas, but that's my idea, is that we really need to meet with her, and maybe on the sanctum is not a bad idea because there's plenty of room.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Up in the northern part of the area where there isn't a lot of people, or in one of the temple. I mean, somewhere she can find us there, but it's safest, I think.
Yeah.
Right, Aribell?
Yeah, I think so, and I think it's the safest for her.
Yeah,
that's what
But I mean,
Yeah.
like her showing up.
Right.
Mhm.
I mean, she can show up in her other form, and nobody would know it was a dragon. But
Right.
I think meeting with her makes the most sense, and if she can meet us at the sanctum.
Because really, we're gonna have to lay out all of the things that the people have to say, and then all of our questions. And it's going to be an interesting conversation.
Mm-hmm. Should I send her the message now, or should we wait?
I think the sooner the better.
You could tell her we're heading to the sanctum. Could she meet us there in the next day or so?
Okay. All right. So I send a message. Mother Tassa. It's Tasha. It's not confusing. We really need to meet with you. We're headed to the sanctum. Could you meet us in a day or two?
There's a pause. And then you hear a voice very familiar. It's lovely to hear your voice. Yes, I can meet you. I will be there this evening.
Okay. So she will meet us this evening.
That was a 22-word message. You did perfect.
I'm getting better.
Yeah, 24 if I add Mother Tassa, it's Tasha.
Perfect. All right. So let's go to the sanctum then and get something for breakfast, because and then we can go to the sprite.
So I get my chalk out and I make a circle in the same place I did last night.
You see Athgarr humming.
Oh, he's gonna do it?
He stops. Father Dilbiss says he will be waiting for us.
Oh, right, I forgot about sending. I always
Thank you,
forget
Athgarr. Most kind.
that. And I
Well,
finish.
Didn't want to
Oh.
be rude.
Yeah. And I finish the circle.
Okay. And we immediately step in and oof, we find ourselves in a rather ornate hexagonal room with a pair of double doors which are just opening, and you see the slight form of Father Dilbiss walking in. Oh, good, you're already here.
Teleportation is quick.
I understand that to be the truth. Welcome back. I hadn't thought to see you again quite so soon, but this is wonderful. Have you eaten? Are you hungry?
No and yes.
Well, then, we should definitely go and get some breakfast. I have not yet eaten either.
Perfect.
And as he leads you up the stairs, out of the Citadel, toward some hot food, that's where we're going to take our break.
Yay!
So we'll pick this back up in about 15
Later.
minutes.
Okay.
So don't go anywhere. We'll be back. And welcome back. As you are walking out of the Citadel, back in the Faelefiri Sanctum, you see Father Dilbiss come to a stop.
Is there something wrong?
And he just has this rather serene smile on his face. And then he blinks and looks at Tasha. I'm sorry, what did you say?
Is something wrong?
Oh, no, not at all. Quite the contrary, actually. But, Bernard, yes, over here for a moment. You see a young man who was walking across campus come jogging over, and Father Dilbiss motions him to lean down, and he whispers something in his ear, and you see the guy kind of look at the five of you and listens to a little bit more and then nods his head. Says, "Sure, that won't be a problem at all. I'll go do that right now, and then I'll go eat." "Thank you, Bernard. I do appreciate that."
Insight check. Is Father Dilbiss acting strangely? Has he been enchanted?
Make an roll. Go ahead and roll insight.
I rolled a natural 19. So
What does that give you?
hold on, please. I don't like somebody feeling a little spacey before we get there. Insight +1, dirty 20. Fuck, I have nothing for insight.
He seems distracted.
What's
But
wrong?
not necessarily in a bad way.
Okay.
Father Dilbiss, you seem distracted. What's going on?
Come with me, let us sit, and then I shall explain. Something rather momentous just occurred.
Big dragon?
And he continues walking, and you see that he's leading you back to the Traveler's Respite.
Okay.
We follow him, obviously.
Right.
Mhm.
He takes you in, and you see that the lanterns are lit, but Unboto is nowhere to be seen. And he walks over and sits down at a table that has sufficient chairs and says, "Please, sit. Breakfast will be coming shortly. I asked one of the students to stop in and actually pick food up and have it brought here, because I realized that if you are back here as quickly as you are, it is likely for something of import and perhaps something best kept between us. So I chose a more private venue for the meal. But as I was leading you here, I offered a quick prayer to Tiraura for insight and guidance on how best to assist you in whatever brings you here. And she provided it.
What did she provide?
Insight.
Into what?
into... not what you are here for necessarily, but I believe she showed me your hearts. And I understand some of what each of you is facing at the moment.
Our hearts?
It's the best way I can describe it, but these are things that I do not believe should be spoken of in front of everyone. But should any of you wish it, I would be happy to counsel you independently.
Did she say anything about secrets?
Not as such, but
Oh, good, because I was going to tell everybody anyway.
I do believe that what she has shared with me could be construed as secrets, which is why I do not feel comfortable discussing them in front of anyone else.
This morning I blackmailed Athgarr into letting me go to Thunder's Edge.
What?
You what?
Yeah.
It
So-
wasn't...
You went to...
Wait. You are misrepresenting it.
Not really.
She asked me for a favor.
A, it's
And
hard to
you
say no to
gave it
me.
to her?
And B, it was kind of blackmail. I mean, how's it going to say no?
But
So,
that's
How is
not...
it blackmail?
That's not blackmail, Zorith.
Do
Blackmail
you
is...
have dirt?
Were you to say, I know something, and you don't want it to become public, and if you don't do what I say, I'll tell everyone. That's blackmail.
Yes.
Does she know something about you that she can blackmail you with?
I do.
You do
Not really.
Tell me.
I talked to Aralahkis, and he said you can't come home yet at all, anytime soon.
Yes, he
We
told
all
me
know that,
that
honey.
too.
Oh yeah,
Remember?
but no, it was emphatic.
We all know that. Sorry. We all know it.
Yes, Aribell, I was just getting back. You had seen me, my hair was wet and everything because I was trying to shake the charcoal out of it. I basically, very quickly, thank you, Father Dilbiss, for letting me unleash a little.
Of course. You may say whatever you wish, by all means. Unburden yourself.
So, this has been on my mind from the very beginning of misconstrued things, of weird, awkward everything between Oloric and myself. And I've been thinking about it since Gwenlaryn said to be present at your job and to be here mentally. I kind of been thinking about it, and I kind of had to go talk to him. And then when she said that he can take care of himself, I knew it was time, and I just kind of had to figure out when the best time was to go, because I didn't want you all there. But then I wanted to be safe-ish, so that's why I asked for him to ask Aralahkis to escort me through town. And I was only at the Wrath. I was there long enough for my conversation, and I left. Captain Warbender might not be so happy I interrupted his sleep, but the stupid fecking guards wouldn't take money. Whatever. Anyhow, I wasn't able to warn them in advance coming back through. So they had to prove I was who I was, and then I went to JoJo's disguised, and then found my way back here because I was trying to remember really hard last night when the kid was taking us, just because I kind of knew I was going to do this. So everything turned out fine. I'm not doing it again. I promised Athgarr, I was going to only go there for my errand and not do it again. Well, I didn't tell him I wouldn't do it again, but I'm telling you I won't do it again.
I am impressed. Super sneaky. And
Thanks, it was
Athgarr,
really-
I can't believe you didn't tell us. Like, what the hell?
Because she asked me not to?
But he would have said something this morning if I hadn't been here, which I was.
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
if you had asked Athgarr not to say something, would you expect him to keep that promise?
Yes, but that's different.
No, it's exactly the same.
No, that's different also. He
No?
did me a double favor. Yeah, Gwenlaryn and him, super tight. So he barely, I mean, like,
A promise
anyhow.
is a promise.
well, and that's why I decided to tell you guys anyway, because I really didn't want to keep it a secret, because I don't want there to be like secrets, but I couldn't tell you at the time because you would have tried to stop me, and it was super feckin' important.
So what happened? What did you find out?
That's none of our business.
Well, she can say no.
I found out that he's super easy to talk to, and then there's a meal in my future.
That's fantastic.
Yay!
I just have one little problem.
I won't do it again, I promise.
Here's something that I need you to hear. Just for a second. I'm in charge of you.
I know.
And
Warbender knows too.
and you woke up my boss.
He does.
And now he thinks I'm not in charge of you.
No,
I'm
he
not
knows.
He knows. I know, but he's gonna tell me that I'm not doing my job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if he does, I'm sorry.
Okay. So.
But he
next
asked me
time-
if he asked me if you knew, and I said no, maybe yes, maybe no. I can't remember what the question was, but he knew it was me right away.
Of course he did. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he's gonna give me a hard time about it. Just so you know.
Well,
But you didn't know that, and you did the best that you could.
I
And-
tried to
and you-
minimize.
And you clearly really thought you had to.
I had to minimize everything I could. I tried to think of everything.
I know, and you did a really good job. You figured out a way to get there. You figured out an escort, and you figured out a way back. So, all things considered, it was a pretty good solo outing. I'm going to give you a B+.
Thanks.
Nobody
Nobody even noticed me in Thunder's Edge because Aralahkis was out for a night stroll and went down for a drink, and nobody paid attention to me at all. So
That's
He-
probably true.
Does tend to command attention when he leaves the inner enclave.
yes.
Yeah.
So there. And then this morning I took some time once I got into the keep and took my time and blackened my hair and made it look like not so obvious that I was me. Kept my head down and made it back okay. And then took everything off when I got out front. There's probably a whole bunch of charcoal in the snow. But we won't know.
Okay.
I'm impressed.
Sorry. I really had to do it.
I just have to say, Father Dilbiss, that you don't have to worry about saying stuff about me in front of everybody else, because everybody knows everything. So if you have special insight, let loose.
Are you certain?
Mhm.
Well, very well. You are considering traveling to Strafsamen's End.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Has to be done.
You are uncertain because you do not know if you all possess the might to do what needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Know that there is aid there, waiting to discover you.
Good.
Well, that's awesome. That's great news. Thank you so much.
I don't have any secrets. Do me. Do me next.
Oh, Father Dilbiss, I'm going to stop you on that one.
I think you should talk to her privately.
I
I'm
gave
just gonna
enough
tell you
secrets.
anyway.
Nope, I gave enough secrets, me personally, on my. Yeah, no, we're all chock of good today, sir. I'm sorry, I just don't think it's wise.
Decision about herself, though, doesn't she?
Well, I'll just tell you what he says anyway, so I'm fine.
I regretfully or just shake my head and
I
sure.
appreciate your willingness to share with your comrades. I, however, would be more comfortable discussing it in private. Perhaps
Okay.
with one other person, but that will be a decision made later.
Okay, so are you going to tell me this now? I don't like waiting. I'm not very patient. It's my fault, I know.
Well, if you wish, if the others don't mind.
We don't mind.
They want to know too.
We don't.
Yeah,
Sure
No.
you do.
it's
I
gonna be.
listen to yours.
Yeah, mine's different.
We
I
already
don't
knew.
know what it is yet.
I think she already knows. I think some revelations, perhaps, are a bit too much for you today.
No, I'm perfectly fine with letting you go off and talk to Father Dilbiss. That's
Okay.
totally fine.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Let's go.
I actually get up from the table and like
Well,
walk to the bar.
He gets up and motions for Gwen to follow him and walks to the back corner of the room
I follow.
to a small table.
I'm still at the bar.
I look at Aribell and I wink.
He sits down, motions for you to join him. Now, I will give you this option. Do you want to do this with me talking now and everybody else hearing it, or do you want to do this completely in private without everybody else?
Joe talk.
Because
let's
we can
have
do
a Joe
either.
talk. Let's
Okay.
have a Joe talk.
Want us to mute?
No, just meet out in the hallway.
Oh, yeah.
Wanna do this.
Yeah, talk amongst yourselves. We'll actually go do this off camera.
Oh, so the audience doesn't even get to know
Right,
because we could watch it.
Wow,
later.
right.
that's tough.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Joe talk. That's what the Joe talk and the Matt
Okay.
Mercer whisper is.
We'll be back.
We'll be back.
Gwenlaryn is gone for several minutes.
Okay.
She gets up and slowly walks back to the table.
Is that the expression on Gwenlaryn's face that Leslie has?
Are
you-
you okay?
Is everything all right?
No, you're up.
Who?
You.
Me?
You.
Oh, gods.
I'm kidding.
So yeah, go talk to Father Dilbiss, and we'll just be here waiting for you. No problem.
All right. Is it bad that I'm nervous?
No.
And he
No,
gets up
probably
and
not.
walks over to sit down.
I'm sure it's fine.
Gwen,
Fine, it's gonna
we're
be-
here for you. And it's going to be okay. Did you say you don't think so?
Fine. Yeah. Okay.
We'll be here for you no matter what.
I mean, we can only speculate and guess, but I think we all think that he told you the same thing.
Same thing?
Like, I think we all assume the same thing, that we think we know.
You think you know what he just told me?
No. I think we might know. We might have an idea of how miscommunication and not speaking to each other plainly can lead to miscommunication. But for the future, I don't know what he told you, but I know that we're here for you regardless.
Thanks. I'm glad he didn't tell me in front of everyone. I need some time to think. This is not expected.
Did the food come yet?
There is no food.
The door opens. I was just about to say, the door opens and several people in aprons come in with large trays
Oh, wow.
and proceed to sit them on the surrounding tables. And you basically have they pull the lids off and kind of look around and spot Father Dilbiss and just start to walk over, and he just holds up a hand and nods and does like this, and they kind of go, okay. They leave platters of fried potatoes with onions and scrambled eggs and bacon and fresh bread and a basket of pastries from the bakery. And one tray has several carafes and
What's in the carafe?
glasses. There's coffee, there's tea, there's cherry juice, and there's apple cider.
He thought of everything.
When and if you want to talk about it, Gwen, we're here for you.
And if you don't want to talk about it, it's okay.
We're here for you anyway.
Thank you. I guess it's about entanglements.
Yeah. I know.
So that's horrifying.
Entanglements? You mean like how you feel about Athgarr?
I guess.
Okay.
I'd just like to point out that humans and dwarves and elves and every being has feelings. And that doesn't make them bad.
This is... I think this has the potential to be bad.
At least very
Really bad.
What, Aribell?
At least very complicated.
Oh, well, feelings are almost always complicated. But we all have them.
And when they're too much for you, you can talk to us and we will help you. Or,
And if Tiraura foresaw it, then maybe that makes it more valid.
But what she foresaw wasn't just feelings, and that's the part that's... I mean, I knew that... Of course I care about Athgarr as a clan member, as the future Lord as my childhood companion. But she alluded to futures and
Good futures?
bonds, which are not okay and to be avoided because of professionalism and my job as an adventurer.
Did she say to avoid them, or are you saying to avoid them because it was a
No.
bond?
She didn't say anything like that, and
Mhm.
but
Okay.
I don't. That's not my future. That can't be my future at all, for lots of reasons, like his reasons and my reasons and Thunder's Edge reasons. And
My love, no one knows what the future brings. Tiraura saw that as one possibility.
That's true.
that's a good point.
You still get to make choices.
Absolutely.
You
So does
Okay.
do.
And so does Athgarr. Yeah.
Okay. Choices. Okay.
No,
What do you
wait.
think
And I put my hand across the table and I hold hers. And I say, and I'm going to start crying because I am who I am. There are choices that we make that have impact on other people. But choices that you make specifically to drive people away, those are not choices that should be made. Those are selfish choices.
It would
You
be
should not-
selfish.
To drive us and him away? If that's purely the only reason you're doing it, yes.
Oh.
If that's the future she saw and that's the future you don't want, then you have to make decisions for what you want right now. If your heart changes later, you don't want to burn those bridges. You don't want to ostracize yourself and him. You not just because you're scared of the outcome. I'm scared of every day's outcome, and that's what I told Oloric. We don't know what we're doing. The path is not paved. We make our decisions every day, but I don't make them thinking that I'm never going to come to Thunder's Edge again because I don't know what to do with Oloric. I told him I don't know what to do with our feelings that we have, and we're adventurers. So if I never come home, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to not ever come home because I don't know what the future holds. I just have to live each day. Does that make sense?
Yes. So that pretty much eliminates the plan I had just created.
Ooh, what plan was that?
To push him away.
To just go. I could just go, and then
Nope.
That's not it. Your job is with us. Your home is with us. Our hearts are with you. We would be devastated if you left us just because you were uncertain of the future.
We are compatriots. We are a clan. All of us. We are creating our own clan.
No, I'm sorry. There's clan, and then there's family.
True. We're creating our own family.
You are part of our family,
I
and
don't
we
know
love
how
you
to-
as such.
I don't know how to do that.
It's okay.
Well, we will.
We do it every day just as weirdly as we do.
I don't know how to do it either. I am just as orphaned as you are.
Don't you think that having family means that we're less able to do the job?
Nope.
Makes us stronger.
How is it not a liability if you're worried about one another instead of the mission?
Part of the mission is to worry about each other. You know how worried you were when I went out this morning and you found out afterwards?
Yes.
We all have a little bit in it of us all of the time. We walk out on the street, it could be Straussman's End people. We walk out on the street, it could be people from a different place. Dragons, orcs. But we're together, and our job is to stay together and fight for good. And I would think...
I don't think any of us are here for the money or the glory. We're here for the things we care about, and that includes each other. So, Gwen, you're our mission. Tasha's our mission. Athgarr, Zorith, you guys are my mission, just as much as the rest of Aecathan.
So is this an oath?
To each other?
Yes.
Would you like it to be?
We make
Well-
each other stronger.
When I joined my clan, there was an oath to bind my honor to the clan.
Which you still have.
Okay.
But
Would you like to be part blood oath or part oath with us?
How does that work with the clan oath? Can't you only take one?
no.
I mean, people in the clan get married, right? And they bind to each other. They swear an oath to each other. It doesn't lessen their oath to the Lion Clan.
True.
A parent with their child vows to protect them.
Those are the entanglements.
You're already entangled, Gwen.
Being human, being elf, being orc, all of these things. Any being on this earth has feelings for the ones that they care about, the people that they choose as family. You and I get to choose our family instead of being stuck with family. And because we get to do that, that is a bond that cannot be broken. It makes us stronger, not weaker.
Well, it does seem like if you do get to choose your own family, then mine is the best.
Yes.
Because this is the 4 plus.
Plus Athgarr.
It don't get caught up in numbers. I used to know another group and their number fluctuated even though they had a specific name. The spirit of the 4 is what the spirit of the 4 is what we stand for. You know, we are family
understand.
saving Aecathan.
I understand, I think.
And
It's
whatever.
Like clan, only before there was only clan, and now there is clan and family.
Yes.
So I will swear an oath to the 4 on my honor as a member of the Lion Clan.
I prick my finger.
Okay.
What, was it not a blood oath?
Well, usually the blood came before in the trials.
No, this is different.
This is
Oh.
simpler.
Okay. I stick my finger on an arrow. There's a lot of blood. I don't really know how to do this.
I shake your hand.
Okay.
We wait for Athgarr.
He's not going to do this too, is he?
Yes.
Maybe.
Oh, this gets really weird then.
Whatever entanglement you decide to pursue or not to pursue there,
It's
We'll
a
be-
separate bond.
And we'll deal with it.
3 bonds?
You can have more than 2.
Aribell, roll perception.
This is very complicated.
God. Is Athgarr reeling across the room?
Ale.
25.
You kind of glance over just to see, what's going on. And he's sitting there with his head in his hands.
Oh, no.
He is not necessarily on the same path that I am.
Well, of course not.
It's okay though. I mean,
I mean about entanglements, so don't say anything to him because that may not be his path.
It is his choice to tell us. And we understand that. We have known this for a while.
I think, Gwen, that we've suspected on both of your parts that there's more feelings than either of you care to admit. But we also all understand how inconvenient and complicated that is.
Inconvenient, that's a good word. Entanglements are inconvenient.
Sometimes.
Often.
I mean, I just did a secret night mission just because of my entanglements. So, I mean,
Right? So, but she said that he's not as far on a path of entanglements, so don't say anything.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
please.
It's
We
okay.
won't.
We won't.
Let's go back to our oath.
Yeah.
I already did the bleeding.
Now we have things to say.
Oh, I thought I said it. No? There's different. Okay, you tell me
Good.
what to say.
I think you said it well.
I cut my finger.
I vow to always have your back and be there when you need comfort and to be your sister.
This is family. I see.
I vow this for all of you.
Sister. That's good. That's a good entanglement.
Yes.
Entanglements aren't always bad. They're just complicated. Life is complicated.
They just are.
It was simpler when I was a scout on my own. There were no entanglements like this.
And there was no backup.
That is true. Although you all did come when I needed help, even though you did not know me then.
We'll always come, Gwen.
Mm-hmm.
And I will for you.
Sisters, family, friends. I'm in it for the long haul. And I give my little thumb to her and
Cut my thumb and we have our little blood love fest.
This is very messy.
Very unsanitary.
Yes.
That's okay.
we can take the first aid kit and wrap our hands up and stuff. I mean,
I can
cure wounds for a small amount.
lay on hands,
How many hit points did you earn to yourself?
One.
Oh, just one. Just big old handprint in the middle of the arrow. Have it go all the way through. Be like, ow, that really.
That would be more than one.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
just saying. You see Athgarr stand up and begin walking back toward the table. It doesn't take much as he gets closer to see that he's been crying. And he just kind of walks up and says, "Oh, there's bacon.
And blood.
Oh.
Sorry.
Have a piece." And he picks up a piece of bacon and walks out the front door to the inn.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Needs a minute.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we had our conversation the other day, it was clear he was very clueless about any of this.
Mm-hmm.
But crying? I mean, I knew that he may not think kindly, but tears?
Oh, hold on.
Oh, no,
There's
Gwen,
lots
I
of reasons to
about you.
cry.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think it's because the idea of a future with you would be sad. I think it's a lot to take in emotionally.
Sometimes people just cry. I don't really understand it, but it happens.
Not usually to me.
Well, I have seen some weird shit.
Yeah, you know.
Sorry, do you want to go talk to Father Dilbiss?
I think you should.
When do they start serving ale?
Let's start with
Probably can get
breakfast
some
first.
now.
But maybe coffee first.
I'll start with the cider. I hope it's alcoholic.
It's not.
Of course it's not.
The bar and get her some hard something.
I'll
This
wait
is
till
going to be a long day.
Father Dilbiss comes back and he can tell everybody
No.
anything.
Well,
Okay. Well,
okay.
he comes back to the table and says, Lady Zorith, Aribell, now, later, what do you wish?
Later's fine for me.
Either. I mean,
Shit now.
we can do now. I don't like Tasha. I don't know that you can't say it in front of everyone, but that's up to you.
Well, actually, both of yours is not the most guarded secrets I've been shown this morning.
Mother Tassa once told me I don't have a defined path, so I'll be interested to hear if that's changed.
What she showed me for you, Aribell, may make you sad at first, but I hope that it will be a balm after the initial hearing.
I reach out and I take her hand.
Your family is with the goddess,
I squeeze it.
and something that I personally wondered would ever happen is apparently occurring. Your heart is healing. Know that should you find someone with whom you can share that heart once it heals, it will be no disrespect to those that you have loved. In fact, I believe they would rejoice that you had found happiness again. And as I explained to Gwenlaryn, there were words and images and flashes of knowledge. It's still somewhat difficult to interpret all of it, but I think she was suggesting that perhaps you have already crossed paths with a possibility? But that is my interpretation of such sensory information as I've not ever experienced before.
I remember from my own visions from her, they're not always easy to absorb.
Yes.
Thank
And
you.
Lady Zorith, yours is the easiest.
Okay.
You have recently accomplished something which was very significant to you, and it was the right thing. And the mother simply let me see that it was the best possible path you could have chosen in that moment.
Thanks.
So, I hope that makes sense to you, and that you understand that the mother approves, for whatever that's worth to you.
Yeah. I like it.
In your vision, did Zori look like Zori, or did she look a little more, a little different?
No, she did not get a sense of any sort of alteration. But did not really see her. It was more a sense that the feelings were about her. I don't know how to quite explain it. It is as if each of you were represented by a sound in the distance, or a gentle fragrance on the air, that I knew who the information was about, without it ever being made explicit. In all my years, this is the first time the lady has chosen to speak to me directly. Background information. He was praying to Tiraura as he was walking out with you for guidance on how best to help you. And so I rolled for divine intervention. He had an 11% chance. I rolled an 8. So he got direct input from Tiraura.
Yikes. It's a lot to take in.
Yeah. But you should avail yourselves of the food before it gets cold. I will definitely join you, and I assume the young man will when he returns. If he doesn't return in relatively short order, someone should probably go find him.
Well, let's eat first.
If he doesn't come back, I'll go after him.
Maybe I'll go after him.
Maybe I should go after him and just clear the air.
Oh, maybe if you want to have a... I feel like somebody should go with you, though.
What would that accomplish?
I don't know. Communication with things not unsaid. I could go check on him and then see if he wants to talk to you when he figures everything out, or
I should
not.
just get this over with.
But eat first.
Are you ready for that, Gwen? Because there's not a timeline.
Nope. You can take all the time you need.
Have to work together. I mean, it's not something that can be avoided. I think it's think it's the best way. Is just to clear the air and move forward with whatever it is that life brings.
What does clear the air mean to you, though?
Just explaining that nothing has to change, and whatever he's been told, he still has
Control over
own
his
choices.
Yeah.
And sort of what you told me, and
The future is not yet made.
exactly. And so whatever horrors he's been told to expect, he need not fear them.
I don't think a lifetime with you would be any kind of horror.
Nope, maybe not to you.
I don't think he thinks so either. But I also am not a prince. And I'm also not a fully blooded clan member.
Right.
And I am also not the son of an extremely proud and overbearing father.
Who hates the air I breathe.
I know.
And who may already be betrothed to someone else.
Right? Also, more good news. So, yeah.
I'll come with you if you want.
I think,
Hold your hand.
I think maybe it would be better. This is going to be uncomfortable, so I
Okay.
think I will just go talk with him.
We'll eat some things first and maybe make a little plate of bacon to go with you as a peace offering.
I will take the bacon for him. He does like bacon. He always was more interested in his stomach than other things, so maybe that will be helpful.
When, regardless of how he reacts, as he is clearly reeling from all of this, he deeply cares about you. It's been obvious to all of us.
That is a good thing to keep in mind. So, I stand and walk slowly in the direction that he went.
Get up and I take a plate of bacon to her.
I take the bacon with me.
Some other Tassa, huh? She's coming, right? We already sent a note?
We sent a note. She's coming tonight.
Oh yes, that's right, you did.
Yeah, we sent information. I think
Aribell.
we need. Oh,
Yes.
You hear Athgar's voice in your head. I find myself in need of advice. I have done the wrong thing, and I need to make amends. Would you be willing to talk? I'm on stage in the Citadel.
So I think back, right? Because you can respond in the manner in which you don't have to say it out loud.
Right.
I would be happy to talk to you. Gwenlaryn is on her way to find you. Would you like that to be delayed?
oh,
You hear
yeah, no.
you hear another message. Oh dear God. Yes. Please don't tell her where I am. I'm not ready to face her yet.
I will send her back inside and be on my way.
What do you say?
Oh, Gwen already left, right?
Yep.
So you're gonna have to track her down.
But literally, she's going to have to figure out where he went.
Right. I know where he's at, so.
Yeah.
I can track pretty well, though. Just saying. It's kind of my jam.
Right.
You guys probably clearly recognize that Aribell was getting a message.
Mm-hmm.
That was Athgarr. He wants to talk to me and not Gwen right now. So I'm going to try and grab her and send her back in.
Well, it wasn't shortly after she just stepped out the door, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, so I run after Gwen.
All right. You head outside, make a perception check.
$22.
You see her. She's standing about 15 feet, kind of surveying the ground.
Gwenlaryn? Athgarr just sent a message.
Is he well?
He is fairly well. He's not quite ready to talk to you yet.
He specifically said that he doesn't want to speak with me?
Yet.
Oh.
He's processing.
I see. Okay. If that is his wish.
Maybe go in and get that hard cider.
If I start drinking now, I won't stop. So
Oh,
I'm
then
going
don't do
to.
Wow.
I'm going to go for a walk. Walking is good. Walking. So I just start walking down a street.
And
I do change my appearance as I walk. I have at least enough sense left.
But we're in the sanctum, so you're okay.
I'm okay to not.
Yeah, we're
Change-
safe here.
Okay, then I won't.
We're the most safe we can be, probably. I won't say we're completely safe, but we're the most safe we can be.
We're pretty safe. And I'll drink with you if it makes you feel better.
Well,
Oh,
you're not
she's
there.
outside.
We're outside.
You're not there having
Oh.
this conversation. They're still outside
okay.
the inn.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Gwenlaryn-
I'm just horrified that he doesn't want to talk. Like, that's not good.
He just needs time to think.
He'll want to talk to you soon. I'm sure. So I wait for her to head off and then I head towards his location.
Okay.
Do you check to see if she's following you?
No, I don't.
Family wouldn't do that.
You are correct.
Oh, I don't know. I stalked my family quite a bit.
Honor is kind of a big deal to her. So
Well, yeah.
if
I mean, there's
you-
an app for that, literally.
Well, yeah, I know. We use it.
Right.
But if you've asked not to, she would not
No, I don't.
violate that trust.
I don't have any worry at all that Gwen would do that.
Well, you make your way to the Citadel, walk in, and immediately hear the sound of a lute, and almost immediately afterwards, you are able to identify the Lost Guardians of Aecathan. It's being played about half speed.
That make it very melancholy sounding.
No, just hesitant. Like there's pauses in between some of the big chord changes.
It's practicing.
Yeah, he's still working on it.
Yeah, but you walk in and you see him sitting cross-legged right at the lip of the stage. He's got his loot case and his backpack sitting beside him, and he's just playing the lute. He's got his eyes closed. He's listening very intently.
I walk up and sit down next to him.
This song is harder than it needs to be.
Tasha's a rare and unique talent.
Yes, she just doesn't have to be this impressive. I'm never going to get that fourth chord progression. My
Yes, you
fingers just don't move like that.
You'll get it eventually. And besides, bards embellish. If you can't, just change it. Make it your own.
Oh, no. I don't think I'd be comfortable doing that. It's one thing when it's someone who's been dead for hundreds of years, whose music you're playing, but when you travel with the composer, it wouldn't feel right.
You're going to be okay. Gwen will be okay.
I read a story once. Someone's tale of traveling to the afterlife. And they talked of seeing their travels through a haze, through a blur, not being able to see anything clearly until they arrived at a certain place, and then someone reached down and removed the call of death from their eyes. And then they saw clearly. The story stuck with me because of the description of the pain the removal of that call caused. I always wondered. Now I know. He was very kind, but no one is so kind that when they tell you you have been an immature idiot, it's not going to sting. I definitely owe Gwen an apology. I just don't quite know how I'm possibly going to say it.
From the heart. Not that it makes any of this any easier.
No. No.
You know we'll help you deal with your father if that's the path you go down.
What does my father have to do with any of this?
Oh, Jesus. God.
What did he tell you?
He told me that he understood that I was experiencing conflicted feelings with regard to Gwenlaryn. And then he made a point of explaining to me that largely this was because, I'm going to use my own words here, I am a naive and sheltered dreamer who idealizes my childhood friend as a hero like those from the books that I read my entire childhood. And that my conflict comes from the fact that I have yet to ever actually see her as a person and not as a storybook figure. He said that I have been emotionally holding her to an inappropriate standard. And that if these feelings were to ever become resolved in a positive manner, I would need to find a way to grow up, to set aside all of those images and stories and stop seeing her as I want to see her and start seeing her as she actually is. He did say that that wouldn't be necessarily good or bad, just that it would be different, but it would be accurate. And I realized that he's right. I have been idealizing her as what she has done, not who she is. And he pointed out rather, again gently, but it felt like a dagger, that I don't know her. Not really. I have the sense of her from my childhood. I have the sense of her as the Thosgan of the Lion Clan. But I don't have a sense of her as Gwenlaryn. And for someone who purports to be a bard, being told that you see everything wrong doesn't suggest I've chosen the correct career path.
I don't think that's accurate, but I think what he told you is good for you to hear, that you need to see Gwenlaryn, but I don't want to overstep Athgarr, and I've tried very hard not to. But is it possible some of that is not seeing her as a defense mechanism in a way?
I don't know.
I mean, if you see Gwenlaryn, as a woman that you'll have to deal with feelings you don't want to.
I don't know that. It flutters right here. I've not ever chosen to think of her in that light.
You've never been allowed to.
No, there is something there. But the worst part of this is I don't think she understands any of this. I don't think she realizes. And yet, I'm certain that I've hurt her because of this. And how do you apologize for something that you were, but are trying not to be, that you know that they may not? I need better words.
I don't know that you do. Gwenlaryn sometimes struggles with the right words too. This is all new for her. I mean, you guys had a conversation recently about entanglements.
Yes.
Have you revisited that in light of this new viewpoint?
No, not yet. Should I?
Probably. Well, yes, you should, because it's you and Gwenlaryn, and I care about you.
All right. Then I'll do that.
But
this is a slightly new sensation, but have we decided, are we going to help Tasha reclaim her home? Because I would really like to hit something.
I believe Mother Tassa's going to be here tomorrow. Tonight? Tomorrow? Mother Tassa is coming tonight to talk to us. And then we have to decide if we're going to help the sprite go first. I don't know if we're quite ready to take on the Strothaman family as much as we all would like to.
Well, if I remember my geography correctly, we will need transportation from here to the shore near the city.
Right, I think we had talked about escorting the sprite all the way back to Airmaw.
But wouldn't it be safer to have them at our backs if we need help? There's no one I trust more than the captain and her crew to take us there.
You mean to Strassen's?
Yes, they're here.
It's one. I mean, we could go there with them instead, but we're trying to keep them safe. I don't know if taking them to a dangerous place is the best idea either.
Well, it was a thought.
There's a lot of paths in front of us in multiple fronts. And none of them easy.
No. I'm going to admit to my naivete here and just ask, is this normal for you?
Life?
This perpetual uncertainty.
When I was young, I thought I knew exactly what my path would be. I came here, I studied to be a cleric, and that was going to be my life. And then I fell in love, and it changed. And I knew for certain what was ahead of me. And I was wrong yet again. So think the uncertainty is the normal. The doubt, the fear of doing the wrong thing. I think those are all very normal emotions. Your life has always been prescribed for you to a certain extent.
Oh, almost to every extent.
And now it's your own, and I think it's completely normal that you don't know what to do with that freedom. And yet, while you have that freedom, you're still bound to upholding what you think you need to do for Thunder's Edge, for your father, for your clan. You'll have to make a choice. And hopefully you'll find a way to make yourself happy and be able to live with those choices.
I think perhaps part of them is choosing what is most important. And he kind of like looks around just to make sure there's no one there but the two of you. My father is not even close to top of the list.
I'm not thinking that your father is, but your clan is.
They are first, and the city second.
Right. And you'll have to reconcile if the choices you make to be happy fit with that. I think that they can.
Well, that's the hope.
As I said, we'll help you deal with your father. It's too bad he loved your mother so much. We could totally distract him with a nice young... Sorry.
This has been a topic of much discussion in the clan. There have even been messages sent back and forth to families in and around the Edge and in other towns. But every time such an idea is mentioned, Father gets very curt, very dismissive, and immediately changes the subject.
Your mother must have been quite the woman.
From what I recall, she was indeed. I think that is part of the issue. He is looking to find me someone like her. But I am not him. I do not necessarily want someone like Mother.
I know,
He will not see that.
I punch him in the arm.
Yes, and thank you so much for the discomfort that produced.
I know it's hard to see, but and because he's so obstinate about everything, he does truly believe he's doing the right thing. For you, for the clan, for Thunder's Edge, which makes it harder, I think.
No, absolutely. And you're not wrong. But he is. And I don't know how to make him see that.
Just keep becoming your own man and...
Well, I took a giant step forward just a little while ago.
You did.
And that's a pain that's going to linger for ever.
For both of you.
Well, do you think it hurt Father Dilbiss to tell me?
No, I met you and your father.
Oh. Perhaps. He has chosen to bury himself in the work of the city, and the work of the clan. I want more than that.
It was probably what got him through losing your mother, and he doesn't know how to live any other way. I can sympathize with that.
My goodness. Congratulations. Have you thought about taking up barding? You've just accomplished something that no one else has. You've actually made me feel sorry for my father.
I think he's very sad. I mean, I don't pity him, but I imagine that his life is still full of sorrow. And even as we move on, it never goes away.
Well, it certainly doesn't present as sad.
Well, he's a clan leader and the ruler of Thunder's Edge. He has certain appearances to keep up, but maybe understanding that some of that is where he's coming from will help you deal with him in a different way. You're growing up, your relationship will change.
I certainly hope so.
But he does love you, Athgarr. That's clear.
Is it wrong to say that I wish he'd find a different way to show it?
No, not at all. But we can't change our parents.
No. We can simply try not to become them.
I don't know. I'm pretty fond of mine.
What's that like? I'm kidding. Suppose I should stop hiding.
Probably. Gwen went for a walk.
Oh, gods. Did she mention what he told her? She looked practically haunted.
I think that's her story to tell.
Fair enough. Well, he heaves himself to his feet and starts putting his loot away.
Tasha will show you that chord progression if you ask her.
I think I'd like to determine if it's even possible for my fingers to do that correctly before I ask for that sort of coaching. I would hate for her to see me fail that badly.
Why don't you try it again and I'll say a little prayer for you.
Maybe later.
We know. Tiraura has a little magic I can give you.
She's certainly given out a lot of something this morning. He hops down and...
Father Dilbiss, I might have found my next great love already.
Really?
Alright, so I'm making a list.
Did he suggest who?
Just that our paths may have already crossed.
Oh my.
Don't worry, I took you off the list.
Well, I would assume so.
I don't know. Could be worse. It could be Lord Tremaine.
Wow.
Never went there.
Wow.
Wow. Now I'm going there.
Maybe it's BA. I don't know. I got a list. You know, maybe it's Viessa. Maybe that's why I don't like her.
It's not Viessa.
One never knows.
One
I'm
never
glad she
knows.
said it.
It's
I'm glad
Tasha.
she said-
Who knows?
I'm glad she said it's not him because that is
Viessa
exactly.
has JoJo.
Yeah.
Maybe it's JoJo.
Maybe it's Oloric. Who knows?
We got Armand, right?
Love triangle.
We got Armand. We got what's his name? The mayor of. What's his name?
I think it's the
Osmond?
mayor.
Yeah.
Osmond.
Yeah, I think it's
He's a
Osmond.
little old for Aribell.
So,
It could be somebody, anybody. We know it's not Wiggy.
oh,
I did know it was not Wiggy.
Right.
It could be Thonin, right? I mean, maybe he's
There's lots of options. I mean, we have met a lot of effing people.
Maybe it's my gypsy dude.
Erman, yeah.
yeah, that's Armand.
Irvine.
that-
Yeah.
Armand.
That is,
Armand, yeah.
that
Armand,
is
yeah.
not her speed.
Maybe it's one of the
though.
dragons. I mean, that's cool. Who knows?
Hey!
They are way older than you.
Right.
Way.
Way.
Let's
Hey.
not, let's not be ageist.
So,
They're eons
Wow.
older.
Oh my goodness.
Who knows?
That's
so
funny.
Athgarr hops down and offers his hand up to help Aribell down from the stage, and
She hops down with her 12 dexterity.
Clunk.
well,
Clunk, clunk.
he if you totter, he catches you. And he begins walking back toward the exit out of the Citadel.
And they walk out.
And he stops outside briefly, takes a very deep breath, and then squares his shoulders and begins walking back toward the Traveler's Respite. And that's probably a good place to stop.
Yeah.
Gonna leave us with all of these unresolved issues.
You're welcome.
Damn it. That's so
Did you
mean.
think we were going to resolve all of this today?
No, but I thought maybe even just a quick conversation. But nope.
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 It's not a quick conversation.
It isn't. It isn't.
Maybe like
So-
ample compensation for our distraughtness over the cliffhanger would be like a level.
I would
Hmm.
feel so much better if we leveled.
No one's that distraught yet.
Oh, I don't know.
Gwenlaryn's pretty distraught.
She is. So is Athgarr for that matter.
Athgarr got a level. He's fine.
Yeah. Bastard.
That's funny.
I tried.
All right. So thanks
You
for
did. Good
watching,
job for trying.
everybody. Yes. And we will be back to continue this next week when we are able to once again welcome you back to the lands of Aecathan.
Bye, guys. See ya.
Good night, everybody.